Welcome to Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs. Are you willing to step into your greatness? Are you ready to shine? Well, get ready, Truth Seeker. You're in for an amazing ride. And now, here's the host of the show, Christine Blosdale.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Out of the Box with Christine. I am your host, Christine Blosdale. And today, buckle up your seatbelts, babe, because today we are going to be talking about higher conscious. I couldn't think of a better guest to come on Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs, because, Daniela Sulek is a high consciousness coach. She has helped people all around the world tap into that beautiful, easy, free, gorgeous space where creating and manifesting your heart's desire is just, a thought away. And so I'm really happy to have Daniela Sulek joining Out of the Box with Christine. Welcome, darling.
Thank you so much, Christine. Amazing introduction. And I just love being here. Let's do this.
Okay, we're ready. I want to let the audience know that before we hit record for the show, I was telling Daniela that I needed to get a little hyped up. I needed to get like in that space because it's winter here in Australia, and I am not a winter person necessarily. I have to reframe that. Okay, I'll reframe that. Winter is an interesting opportunity for me to embrace everything that is uncomfortable. But it's very early in the morning and it's really, really cold. So I needed to have Daniela come on today and help me as well. Just knowing you were going to be on the show brought my vibrations up a little bit, Daniela. So thank you.
Amazing.
So
thank you for having me.
Let's start at the very beginning, shall we? You have a little bit of an accent. Where are you from? Where are you originating from?
Yeah, I'm from Slovakia, so former Czechoslovakia, right? So Central Europe, and came to Canada about 24 years ago. So that's my accent.
It wasn't cold enough in Slovakia. You needed to go to Canada.
Actually, yeah, it's milder. It's milder in Slovakia. So I came to Canada. I know I didn't know what I was signing up for at that time, but yeah, I stayed.
And so, and you're a higher consciousness coach. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about that, and viewers that are on YouTube, a little bit about being a high consciousness coach?
So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because I take these amazing, talented, gifted entrepreneurs, executives, high-performing coaches, and who've been these amazing, talented people who've been doing mindset work and business coaching for so many years, and they are still stuck in the head. So they achieved amazing results. They achieved what they wanted, but they pay really a big price for it. So they pay their time, their freedom, their health issues, relationship, not having a free time, not being with their families, not being with the kids, grandkids, and they want kind of more, and they're ready to have it all. So a person who comes to me is literally ready. I cannot work with anyone. So only people who resonate, and that's how I know they're ready and they shift. So what I do is really I activate and integrate their permanent state of higher consciousness. And it's a different state. It's a state when we drop the mind, because all the conditioning, all beliefs, all fears, everything, all structures, or all habits, all anxiety, fears, exist only in the mind. Once we drop the mind, we move into what really is our natural state. We just don't know about it. Is our natural state, and we move into being and effortlessly creating by being. So we do about 10% of action we did before, and we have massive results because it's not action from the mind. It's not action from a thought. it's action from our being, and we are in that state 24/7.
And that being also has an energy in which is attracting the energy of what it is that we want. But the mind, that little monkey.
It's a big monkey. It's not a little monkey. It's a big monkey.
This is really important, because I believe as well that 99% of the world's problems and issues come from the mind. What we perceive, what we think, what we go over in our minds over and over and over again about the past, what we worry about in the future, and of course that being that presence is lacking in that. But this is something that is it's difficult for people, Daniela. It's difficult. They live.
I know.
In their mind.
It is, but because first of all, they don't know who they are. So once they understand who they are, when they kind of get a taste, and once actually the mind starts shifting, what I call dropping, we really get into our natural state. And what you said that it's difficult, and it's the problems. It's because we are in the mind. It's our conditioned state, our natural state. What you said about the energy. We are high vibratory energy beings. And in our natural state, everything what we want comes. We don't need to affirm. Any affirmation comes from the mind. Any visualization comes from the mind. Any intention comes from the mind. It's very limited. We do not need to that. We are just being, and it just is. It just is. It naturally happens. You don't need to do anything. Doing comes from the mind. So it doesn't mean that we sit on the sofa and meditate all day. Actually, no. We are communicating with people, but instead of, for example, talking to 100 people or figuring out the right strategy and testing. Oh my gosh, so many coaches test, and they have funnels, and they have 100 assistants, and they have this. I have 0 assistants. I work alone because I don't have that overhead the mind created. Like once you drop it, it's really the freedom of being and living. And the beauty is that you don't perceive life. You stop perceiving life as, okay, this is as boxes. The mind is structures. This is my work life. This is my free time. This is my family life. This is my friends' time. It all integrates into one beingness. And literally, you may go for a walk with your kids, meet someone, and that will be your next big client. And you are not doing anything. It's not work. Like the word work is removed from your dictionary. I often, like my kids, they're teenagers, and they kind of tease me or sarcastically tease me when I say, oh, today at work, I did like this and this. And they're like, you work? Because they don't know that I don't. So but it's our natural state. We don't trust it because we've been conditioned to the action. Here's the thing. We've been conditioned to, I do action and it creates result.
Yes.
And that put us in this huge box of, okay, so if I do more action, I will get more result. Yeah, that works. And that works for most of the people and for many people, but it's not natural. It's conditioned, and it comes with time, space, freedom, health, as I said. So it's a mind concept, and the mind keeps us in the illusion. We literally need to drop the illusion.
Well, and we're taught that at a very young age, and from all different aspects. We have our parents, we have school, we have religion or dogma as well, that in order to get this, you need to do this, right? And instead of just saying, instead of teaching, reminding beautiful humans that we're already in that state of bliss, we're already all powerful. We've also been taught that we have no power. We've been, I mean, not too long ago, we were told we were born in sin. You need a special person to talk to God. You know, you have no power. You're going to go to hell or you're going to go to heaven, but you have to do these things. So it's very, in that box, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So we're already sort of set up to, not set up to fail, but I mean, my goodness, we've already got those chains around us when we first come into this world. But do you see a change with people? Do you see more people being open to what you're talking about and understanding the great power that they have?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. People are more and more understanding and getting to know and getting experiences, spiritual experiences, kind of like senses who they are. So absolutely. And I think it's a natural evolution of the consciousness. I think it's really what we came here to do. We chose to forget, to play this game, and it's up to us to either remember that we chose to forget and then we take a different turn, or we will get the next lesson, the next chance to do the lesson again, to remember. So it's a journey for everyone. But what you said about the stuck in the box, everything is really a box. Everything is really a box. And what I do is I just remove completely the box. So even on a spirit, in the spiritual realms, or around in coaches, people need something like you said about the God, like you need to do and this. But a lot of time I see people, crystals, new moon, full moon, rituals. Those are really just permission slips that may work for us if we believe. But at the end of the day, and this is something that the mind doesn't understand, you don't need anything. You are it. You are the crystal. You are the Reiki healer. You are that. You are the full moon. Like everything is a holographic projection of your consciousness. So you are it. No one else, by the way, exists. So there's
a mind blower.
that's a mind blower. And then that's how you actually create very soul deep relationships, when you understand. And this is the first thing I do with the clients, to let them understand there is no one out there. It's all you. There is no one out there. So, all that stuff about, let's try to negotiate. Let's try to improve our communication as partners, or let's try to do this and this with my children because I want them to be happy. And this, no, you are. We've learned, because we looked at others when we were small, what others are doing, and we think that this is what we are supposed to do, but we are just creating more and more mess. Why there is wars, why there is violence, why there is more than 50% divorce rate, why there is everything superficial. We are trying to change others, but there is illusion. They do not exist. There is more to it, because everyone is creating their experience and we do communicate together, but no one can change my experience. No one can change my illusion, my dream, my Gaia, only me. So no matter how much, for example, talking about relationship, I want to change my kids, or I want to change my partner, or I want to change my clients, because I want to get the best clients. I don't want to get the clients who don't want to pay me, for example, and I'm not motivated, right? The mind manipulates, the mind controls, the mind is looking for strategies and for these tricks. That doesn't work. When we understand who we are, we don't need to. When we stop changing the world and just really work with ourselves, everyone shifts. And now we are getting these soul deep relationships, the best clients, our kids shift, our partner, everything. It's literally just like kind of a magic, but because we are it. There is no one out there, just you.
I like that. I really like that that reminder. And I don't know if I had tapped into it. Well, I know I tapped into something really magnificent when I had a near-death experience, and I think I've talked to a few people who have also had some have had that the fear kicked in, and the fear maybe of the unknown. But when I had my near-death experience, it was a moment where I realized that I was connected to everything.
Mhm.
And in other words, I mean, everything that I had looked at physically with my eyes, I felt absolutely as one of, and it was the most amazing feeling. And then just knowing that outside of what I was able to see, also, I was still one with, and there was a complete bliss, there was no want or need or anything. And it was the most beautiful experience I've ever had. That helped me also to not be afraid of death, of any of those transitions, right, or any of those experiences, because you just keep going and you keep going on and on. But that was a really magical moment for me, and I'm wondering, have you experienced any of that, any near-death experiences or close calls like that where you felt that connection?
I didn't have, so what you described was amazing and wonderful, and that's exactly how we feel and how we are when the mind drops. So imagine being in that state all the time. So you are walking in the park, and whether it's a squirrel or whether it's a kid, you see, like, there is no separation, you know, they are you. So why would you judge, criticize, or harm anyone else because they are you, right? I didn't have near-death experience. I had out-of-body experience. I had astral travel. I had the mind wrapping itself or ceasing, the mind stopping to exist and kind of falling into a black hole of my consciousness, which is the center of the body, but there was no body. And it was literally like a peeling of an onion. The mind like literally peels itself off and ceases to exist. That was probably the most profound experience. And so I had several, which helped me to understand who I am and how we function. So one of those was me being an emotion, just emotion without a thought. And it was like in a split second, and that I was the emotion. And it was like 8 billion of people who feel that emotion, I became it. So that helped me, for example, to understand how we manifest in terms of the thought and emotions, and that reality is not static. Reality is not this static thing that this is what it is, and I just kind of have to make a strategy and think of a strategy, have to maneuver myself so I get safe to whatever end, like death or whatever, right? It's not. It's every single moment we are recreating ourselves. And when we are in the mind with the same belief system, we are recreating ourselves as that person, and we are recreating the reality. So imagine this reality, this future, which doesn't exist, but let's say it's there. So it's your future timeline, but it's a parallel timeline. Shifts every time you have a thought and emotion, every time. But because we are in the same patterns, it projects out itself as the same reality. So the same morning, the same people, maybe different people, but with the same attitudes, the same experiences, similar experiences. Once we drop the mind, we are open to the unknown or the everything. And we literally go the fastest way where we want to go, because the reality shifts itself every moment we are not in the mind. Does it make a sense?
Yes, it makes sense. But my goodness, how do we do that? How do we? So that's because people that are watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast, they might be saying, and I can hear them saying because I'm tapping into them. Okay, give me some tips, girl. Like give me some ideas. What are some things that we can do when we do find ourselves trapped in that mind prison? Because that's what it is for a lot of people, that mind prison of worry and stress and anxiety. Anxiety and stress and depression are off the charts right now, right? I mean, maybe they always have been. When the plague happened in the, whatever 1500s or whatever, whenever that happened, but record numbers, and especially among young people. So what are some things that can help us? Maybe just even some mindful advice or tips that people can do to start being aware of that mind.
Yeah, to start with, I would suggest detox from the mind. When we talk about addiction, and people say, when people think of addiction, they're like, oh yeah, alcohol, drugs, porn, whatever addiction, social media, right? The biggest addiction humanity is addicted to is to thinking. We cannot stop thinking. That's the mind. The moment you are thinking, you are a conditioned human, because a thought is a condition. A thought is conditioned from a belief system, and that belief's on the level of mind. So really observing your thoughts, look at your thoughts without the judgment, just being neutral about it, and look at your thoughts. Judging is the issue. Just be with your family or be with your coworkers and look how much you judge. That's the mind. How much you judge. And we judge because we literally we seek for ourselves. We look for ourselves in the other person. And if the other person is not how we are, we judge them. That's the mind, because the difference between those two states, the mind conditioned state and the true self or high consciousness, is that mind is duality. Mind is duality. It judges. I like it. I don't like it. It's black or white. I am a man, woman, a lesbian, heterosexual, any religion, take anything, right? It's like preference. The consciousness, high consciousness or awareness or soul, for that consciousness is just an experience. So there is no judgment, and this is so hard for the mind. It's like, how can I love something I don't like? And I would say, because it's an experience. And let's go to the beginning of the show, when you said, Christine, oh, it's a winter and I hate it. Oh, I need to reframe it. Okay, I need to reframe it. I need to find a positive things about winter. Well, this is what a regular coach would do. It's still on the level of mind. You get somewhere, but you're tired of reframing things. You know why? Because you're still working on a freaking level of the mind. The mind is still trapping you, and it's so tiring to reframing things all the time. How about dropping that? How about, instead of reframing and finding a good in winter, how about just looking at the winter from a complete neutral state? Okay, it's cold, but let's not judge the cold, because cold, you judge cold because you don't like it. You judge cold because you know how hot feels and how warm feels. But if you didn't know warm, see the duality of the mind, hot, cold, soul experiences, consciousness, high consciousness, there is no judging. There is no, you said it, there is no fears and there is no desires. You're near that experiences. There is no need to make anything different. There is no need to make anyone different. So if there is a winter, it's a winter. I experience winter. The mind is like, I want summer. No, see the pressure, and it's a constant. obviously
And
when
then
I
in
work
the
with,
summer when it's bloody hot, you go,
yeah, it's like, oh wow, it's not,
I hate
and it's,
summer.
but this is how we are.
Conditioned.
This is why people are so, this is the anxiety, this is everything, because even so I worked with women who had a huge anxiety, severe depression, suicidal thoughts. And the moment we relax in our anxiety, or the moment we relax in our depression, there is no problem. The problem is only when you fight what is. So it's really just relaxing into this moment. Right now, it's winter, and I relax. I don't judge it. I don't make it good or bad. It just is. But the mind is like, well, no, I want to move out. No, but this is how we create time. This is how we create future and past. The consciousness, in a higher consciousness, by the way, you don't live in the past, you don't live in the future. So a person who lives in higher consciousness, there is no trauma, and there is no fear, there is no trauma, there is no grief, there is no resentment of the past, and there is no anxiety about the future, because those two, that's again duality, past and future, exist only on the level of mind. So that person is fully in the present and is present with whatever is right now, not tomorrow, right now. It's winter, I'm present with the winter. I'm doing podcasts with Christine, I'm fully here. I cannot tap into past or future. And that's our most powerful state. I often say, if you're in the future or in the past, in terms of thinking, you don't exist. You're completely lost in the illusion.
You're
this
gone.
is your power.
Right.
You're gone. You're gone. You exist as a physical being,
Right.
but you don't.
Yes, you're a shell walking around, but you're not there.
You're not. You are. Your power is here and now. That's when you are completely in your power, and that's when you do what people say or call quantum shifts.
Yes.
To wherever you want to go, you can go there in the now.
That is very powerful, and I would love to see you with your teenagers. Because
okay, let's go there.
Because I know.
Okay.
I don't know about your teenagers, but I've been that person too. You come into the bathroom and there's nothing on the toilet paper. I mean, on the roll, and you can't just say, "Okay, it just is that way."
See,
We will
you cannot. No,
I mean, you. But you have to tell them too. Also, you have to show them.
You don't need to,
no?
because they are illusions. So here, okay, let's go there.
Children are illusions.
Yeah, everyone is. Didn't I tell you? Didn't you listen? I said there is no one out there, Christine. Oh my gosh, she's not paying attention.
Then who's in the middle of the night getting snacks?
Okay, here's the thing. First of all, I have two teenagers. I have two girls, 15 and 17. They're the sweetest, and they had zero. They never had any. You know how people say, oh, teenagers are nothing. They are like, they don't behave like normal teenagers. And it's because I don't try to change them, because I know I cannot change them. And see, here's the thing, that you want that teenager to change the toilet paper roll. But see, that because there is your need and your not acceptance of what is right now, your need, I don't like this empty toilet paper roll. I want this. See the duality?
Yes.
That energy in you, that energy, you know what here's the thing. Okay, let's go right there. Here's the thing, that teenager exists on a many level, because in quantum, or in consciousness, in the field who we are, there is a teenager who changes the toilet roll, and there is a teenager who doesn't. There are many other versions, but let's work with only those two. Your energy and need for the person to be different keeps the different in that state. Keeps the person in that state. Keeps the person in the state of them not changing the toilet paper.
No.
It's your energy. That's how you change everyone, by changing your energy.
So if I just let go and go, I don't, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. It's gonna, they're gonna change the toilet bowl. They're gonna put paper.
Yes, but here's the caveat. You have to completely detach. You cannot go like, well, I don't care, but your energy or in your mind is
No,
hate. No,
yeah.
you need to get to the point where it doesn't matter. What did I say about the weather? Winter, summer, doesn't matter. That's the preference, is duality, the judgment, the wanting to change something because I don't like what is now. Consciousness, higher consciousness, soul doesn't judge the toilet paper roll. It just is. But this is the mastery, I would say, and this is the process. Logically, you can understand, even though some people say, oh my gosh, but you have to, it's a state, you shift into a different state of being. You cannot tell yourself, I will accept this. You have to drop the mind and you suddenly don't care. You are in the neutral state. You're either in the mind when you want to change something, or you're in a neutral. This is how you change your partner, your clients, your teenagers. This, not by allowing them to be how they are and by working with you, with your state. It's everything is your state.
So when you work with clients though, when you're coaching your clients, are you you're not trying to change them, obviously, but you're just making them aware of their thoughts and the mind, the mind games that we play. You're just making them aware of that.
I give them exercises to do. I give them exercises to do depending on where they are, that help the mind shift. So from the lower consciousness of the mind to the high consciousness, where there is no mind, and then I pinpoint everything. What they do is like, not do this, not like literally, because it's not what we do. It's not affirmations. It's not journaling. It's not this. It's every second the state we are in, and we are in a wrong state, and we are in a low consciousness mind state. Once the mind drops, it's a natural mechanism. Once the mind drops, our natural state comes. We are born like that. It's nothing. We are born like that. We don't need to do that. All we need to do is drop the mind, the duality. And then we are in our natural state of being. So I give them exercises, I coach them, but it is a lot of, it requires a lot of willpower and discipline, move completely out of logic, because the logic tells you, I need to convince my teenager, I need to talk to them, I need to take away their phones until they know that they need to change the toilet paper roll. That's logic. No, you create that version of the person every moment with your energy, with your thoughts. You create that version. If you want a different version of the person, stop looking and trying to change that person. It will never work. Why there is 50% divorce rate? Why there are wars? Why we have such a things going on in the world? Because people are looking and trying to change out there. Out there doesn't exist. And this is something, when you mention about the wars and suicide rates and depression, I truly feel that everything that is happening right now in the world is for people to understand that the way how we've been functioning is not working for us. And it needs to change. We need to stop looking out there and trying to fix out there, because by trying to change out there, you are creating more things you need to change.
Right. Yeah. That it's forcing something that doesn't need to be forced at all.
Now, if we would all drop the mind, we would literally have peace on earth. There will be no global warming. There will be no depression, no suicide rates, and everyone would be happy. And everyone would have what they need. No one would be in
Right.
poverty.
There'd be no scarcity. Yeah.
There will be no scarcity. But current events and how Earth or how humanity, where humanity is currently, is a reflection of a mass consciousness, and it's a deep mind conditioning. That's it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the overthinking of the mind, and the living in the past, living in the future, not being fully present, that is something that is just so massive right now. What would you say are some things that we can do to help let go of the mind? I know that, I mean, sometimes for me, meditation, just sitting and just being, and just even just being quiet, and just like with a meditational type of practice, just being with yourself, it's amazing. It's just amazing. The thoughts, it's like a freeway. There's still thoughts come in, oh, did I leave the burner on? Oh, did you, what about this, that? It is a real challenge to quiet the mind. But what are some things that you've done, or that you recommend for your clients to help quiet the mind?
I think that's the best one, because if I give you any book or any meditation or anything, that I would just feed the ego, which is the mind, with more information. What we need to do, we need to detach and detox from the information and from the thoughts. So the thoughts are not a problem, by the way, because the thoughts, if you would let go and not pay attention to the thoughts would over time disappear.
They just fly by like birds in the sky.
You gotta understand how you create with the energy. So you're this high vibration consciousness, and you can choose the thoughts. We think because the mind really creates illusion that it's important for us to pay attention to this, because if I don't do this, I will get fired from the job tomorrow, or I need to remember, and what we do, we literally think about the energy, right? Like you are energy. We literally put the energy into that thought. Now as a consciousness, we join the thought, and what we are done is we are creating experience where we forget, where we are living in the illusion. We are living in the hard work and pain and suffering and trying to change things. But it's just an experience. There is nothing wrong with it. But it was our unconscious choice to do that. When you shift into the higher consciousness, you literally see this. It's a different state of functioning and living, because you don't join with your energy what you don't want. It's like me sitting here, and now a car will drive by on a street. I am not going to chase that car trying to stop it because something, right? It's like, okay, it's there. So I consciously choose where to put my energy, because with my energy as a consciousness, I create that reality. I literally created reality. So the thoughts you have, and the same with emotions, because emotions are just a response to our thought process.
Right.
Those are part of the mind. Once the mind ceases to exist, we don't have thoughts and emotions. That's why. So we work both with thoughts and emotions and dropping it. Another thing, except the thought, is detox from emotions. Detox from emotions, because those emotions are not yours. Those are learned. The true emotions, your natural emotions, is bliss and joy and love and happiness. Everything else is conditioning. So when someone says, well, I feel angry, it's the mind and all its beliefs creates the illusion of the body being angry. And you as a consciousness join the body and the mind in the experience, and now you have that physical human experience.
Yeah.
And you can do that for 40, 50, 60, 70 years until you die, and then you realize, ooh, ouch, it was just a game. It was just a play. So what I do with people is move them. Let's not wait until you die. Let's have a choice, and let's have a freedom from your thoughts and emotions while you are here. And then you can experience life any way you want, because you are no longer, it's really a liberation from the mind. It's the highest liberation you can achieve. A liberation from your emotions and from the mind. Nothing, there is no fear. There is nothing.
It's a beautiful state to be in. It's a very powerful state to be in as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. I am so happy that I met you, Daniela Sulek. I am so happy. I am so actually and really honored that you came onto the show today to reach and communicate also with our listeners on podcast platforms all over, but also on YouTube as well and in video. So thank you so much. I'm going to let people know how they can find out more. I know that we've got quite a few people that are interested in learning more about Daniela. You can go to DanielaSulek.com. That's DanielaSulek.com. I will spell that out for you for the folks who don't want to visit the YouTube channel and click on the link, but it's DanielaSulek.com. And I will have a link in the show notes from today so you can visit her. Thank you again, darling. Thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime on Out of the Box with Christine. And I hope you do come back. And thank you again so much.
Thank you so much. Would love it. Would love to come back. And, if someone has a question or something didn't make sense, because the mind, for the mind, a lot of things do not make sense. Let's reach out to Christine with a question, and then we can, or with a topic, and then, or how to fix something. Beautiful. And then we can meet again. We can do this again.
Absolutely. And I have a feeling this is my this is what I've been told in my mind, or not in my mind, in my beautiful body, is that listening to this or watching this the first time is going to be resonating with people. But if they watch it again, or if they listen to it again, it's going to even be more impactful. So,
absolutely.
And I know that I'll put this on repeat just because it feels good. So thank you so much again. And thank you, wonderful listeners and viewers, for tuning in again. Remember, the Out of the Box with Christine podcast is available on all of your major platforms. It is also available on YouTube, and you can like and subscribe so you'll never miss a future episode. Thank you so very much. If you want more information about Daniela, remember, it's DanielaSulek.com. The link is in the show notes. If you want more information about me, just go to ChristineBlosdale.com. Again, link in the show notes. So until next time, as I always say, remember to think outside that damn box. And as Daniela says, get rid of the box altogether.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Thank you so much, love. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.